Hey guys, my name is Theo Le Roux and I'm from Cupocafe Coffee Bar. And today we're going to be making the Chemex coffee. The Chemex coffee is by far my favorite type of coffee. It is a beautiful, smooth, good looking, very, very tasteful, smooth, did I mention smooth? Coffee. It is delicious. The thing I like about the Chemex is the fact that the filter is basically a 180 grain linen filter. So it's extremely small and very, very fine. So it holds back most of that hard crust, I always like to call it sandpaper feel of the coffee back. So the texture of this thing is so smooth, like silk. It is really, really gorgeous. So of course, water, not boiling water, because you don't want to burn the coffee. As soon as you pour boiling water over any coffee, it burns the coffee and it makes the coffee extremely bitter. So we are going to pop that on there. Get your scale. Always use a scale because you need to know what recipe of coffee you are using. Then we pop out the filter. Now guys, very important, you want to always rinse your filter. The reason for rinsing the filter is to get the paper flavor out of the filter. You don't want your coffee to taste like paper. So we just pour some water up there. Let it run through. Now two things are happening right now. We're obviously rinsing the filter and we're also getting some hot water in the bottom of the Chemex to heat it up a little bit, because you don't want to shock the hot water onto the cold coffee laying inside the cold Chemex. So it's fairly important to get it just a little bit hot, not too hot. I just mix it around a bit just to get heated. Of course, we throw that away because that is already lukewarm and it tastes like paper. Just rinse it another little time. Make sure we got all the paper flavor out. Then of course the filter. So on this side there is three layers. This side there's only one layer. We put the 3 layers to the pouring side. Okay? The reason why we put the 3 layers to this side is it kind of blocks the hot air to go out and the coffee stays hot for much, much longer. Next up, the recipe for the coffee. Now the coffee granules must be about a medium grind. You can go slightly fine, but then it's going to push up the intensity of the coffee flavor. So you don't want to go too high because that would create like a, let's call it an under-extracted coffee. So too much oil with not enough water. So then you're going to have to add some water. So we want to go on 20 grams of coffee with around about 250 to 280 milliliters of water. So that's going to be the recipe that I'm using today because of the coffee that I'm using. So the coffee that I've got in here today is a Nicaragua Gold Mountain. We have this available on our website as well if you would be interested to taste this, a Nicaragua Gold Mountain. Very good grade coffee, so fairly expensive. But the flavor notes are honey, a bit of fruitiness, but very strong on cocoa and nuts, which is gorgeous. So we're gonna go, clear your scale, we're gonna go with 25 grams. There we go, 25 grams of coffee to create that beautiful recipe flavors. Okay, tear your scale again, and then of course the water. Now very important about the pouring of the Chemex, you want to add around about 50 milliliters of water for about 45 seconds. So we're going to pour it, then leave it just to bloom a bit, and then after it's bloomed, then we're going to add the rest of the water to create that beautiful flavor. There we go, 50 milligrams or 50 milliliters of water. And now we just let the cone, the filter of the coffee, set a little bit. Now you want all the oxygen bubbles to be out, and you also want the last CO2 to come out of the coffee or the grinded coffee. Then we let it run for about 45 seconds. So you give it about 45 seconds just to set. We call it the blooming process, which is gorgeous. Now the pouring. Now because of the gooseneck kettle, you can pour very, very slow. So it's very important to pour very slow and consistent when making the Chemex, because you want it to infuse obviously over a 3.5 minute period if you want a normal, so a neutral coffee, or longer if you want a stronger coffee. So the slower you pour, the stronger the coffee flavor is going to be. Now I'm going to work on around about 3.5 minutes. Now while I pour here, the Chemex, very, very famous in most parts of the world, especially in the East, because it creates a very tea-like coffee. It's the texture of tea, but the flavor of coffee, which is gorgeous. Invented in 1941, just after, a few years after the first linen filter came out. So of course they had to wait until they had very, very fine, so very, very thin type of filters to make it work. Beautiful. 380 milliliters. And now we just let that run through. So now the very fine bits of coffee goes and lays at the bottom, and it then soothes all of that oil out of the coffee to create that beautiful flavored texture. Now, as you can see here at the bottom, it's a very light coffee. Oh, and that smell is just divine. Can't wait to taste this. This is going to be awesome. So you just let it run until all the water is through. It should stop roundabout on this nipple. Now you can see here, just if I turn it like this, there's a little nipple over here. If you pour the right amount of water, it should always stop there. This specific Chemex can create roundabout 6 espresso sizes. So it's more for sipping coffee. So if you have a very rich type of coffee that you enjoy, and it's a type of coffee you can't drink 5 or 6 cups in a day because it's too rich, especially the light roast, this is the method to go in. It takes that hard, harsh feeling of the coffee away, it smooths it out to the finish, and it does create so much flavor on your palate. It's really, really gorgeous. So we're on about 3 minutes now. Just waiting for that last bit of coffee to run through, and then we are going to enjoy this gorgeous coffee. Now while we wait for this last bit to go through, if you can maybe in the comments down below tell me if you've had Chemex and what type of coffee is your favorite through the Chemex. Would really appreciate some feedback there. And yes, maybe you've discovered a specific coffee that really tastes phenomenal and I've not tried it yet. I would love to taste some of that coffee. It's almost done. There we go, those last few drips. Then of course we take the filter off. So we are on round about 3 minutes 44 seconds now, which is the place where I like my brew to end. As you can see, a beautiful tea color type of coffee, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous flavor. Oh, that smell is so sweet, so floral. Now this type of brew does take slightly longer to make, and therefore you want to drink it as quick as possible before it cools down too much. It does keep its heat as long as the filter is on top for probably around about 10 minutes, which is gorgeous. It's a perfect temperature to drink, and enjoy your coffee. Smooth, smooth coffee. It is so gorgeous. And of course, the type of water you use will also define a little bit of the texture. So this is a very soft water. We've got special filters that we make the water soft with, just to bring that extra bit of smoothness through it. Oh, beautiful apricot, some green grapes there to the tip of the tongue. And then that beautiful cocoa flavor on the center of the palate, finishing off with like a tree trunk type of tobacco. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous coffee. Good job to the roasters. Well, thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate your attention. Give us a thumbs up because YouTube likes this stuff. And if you've not subscribed yet, please go and check out the rest of our videos. And if you do find us interesting and you like our videos, hit that subscribe button. And then also hit the little notification bell so you can get the notification every single time we upload. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.